This is a
Squad. What's up? What's up?
That ball is belted. Welcome in Carlos Gomez. Hello. Goodbye. Ay, 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 ay. Oh man, yeah. We rockin' now. BS3 Sports. Okay. Sports news, get it first when you're getting off of work. Even when you're at work, acting like you're working hard when you're hardly working. I'm a maverick like Dirk, getting Franklin's like Kirk. Hold up, boy. X Squad, you don't know them boys? Being talking facts on every topic. Overall, we just talking noise, just being boys. Covering Texas sports in them tall hills. That with the fake pass over to Elliott. Better guard your grills like a car for real. Yeah, Cowboys gonna bring a bowl back, Lord willing. Yeah, Mavericks gonna bring a ring back with Mark in it. We live sports, we talk sports, we dream sports, we eat sports. The teacher about to teach the course. Welcome to BS3 Sports. Ay, 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 ay. Gross. Oh man, yeah.
Welcome to the weekend wrap-up show, episode 131. See you in the Bay Aubrey. Hashtag strength in numbers. We'll be talking about game 2 of the NBA Finals. Also recapping one of the biggest upsets in boxing history, I think. Andy Ruiz upsetting Anthony Joshua. Also the Benny Awards at the end of the show. You can put them in the chat room whenever you feel ready. So the NBA Finals continuing to heat up. I got to say this is definitely lived up to, I think, a competitive series that we were wanting to see. Second half Warriors continuing to do their thing. But shout out to the X Squad Radio, which the show is on. Networks continuing to grow. Shout out to everybody tuning into the show today. Also, shout out to my fam over at the No Phony Podcast Network. They're showing love and support as they continue to do. So, man, let's go ahead and get right into the topics from the weekend. First off, I want to start off with a huge shout out to D Wade. D Wade surprised a high school graduation. This is the Stoneman Douglas graduation class. He surprised them. He did a graduation speech, and this was the school that got shot up. So big ups to D Wade for doing that. And D Wade's on his retirement. He can do whatever he wants. Had a great career, but this was a great thing that he did. Hopefully this brings some inspiration to the kids in this graduating class. That was terror. I mean, anytime something like a shooting happens in a school, that's never a good thing, especially the lives that are lost, the lives that are affected. But D Wade took time out to go over there and show support. So shout out to D Wade for doing that. Also, big shout out to Miss Mocha Bella in the chat room. First and foremost, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for always getting the shows out there and doing what you do. The network would not be the same without you. So much appreciated to you. NBA Finals Game 2. What can I say? It was, first of all, Toronto came out blazing. They came out blazing. They came out ready. They came out aggressive. Second half, not so much. It didn't look as good. They weren't as active. And I think that was Jalen Rose, I believe, that called it. They were playing like they didn't want to lose. Or maybe that was Chauncey Billups with the post game. And shout out to Mo Cheese for doing the post game show. Appreciate him breaking down that show. I think that was great. I was listening in, was not really able to chat too much, but I do have to say it was definitely needed and worth listening to. But before we get into the game, let's talk about a couple topics before we got into the actual game. Raptors player OG Anunoby was active for this game. He did not play, but he was active. So that means, going into this next game, we should see some playing time for him. He's definitely a guy that was able to give some quality minutes. He's been a key guy for this team throughout the year, coming off the bench. So watch for him in Game 3, which is going back to the Bay. Obama was in attendance at the game. Obama being at the game, to me, I thought that was dope, first of all. But I was thinking, man, Toronto's probably going to win this game. You got Obama at the game, sitting next to the commissioner. I was really hyped to see Obama there, but also I was thinking, man, you got Drake in your corner, and now you got Obama in your corner. I was thinking Toronto's probably going to win this game and go up 2-0, and then who knows what'll happen from there. But obviously, it didn't end up happening that way. Drake had basically a steel face after that game was over with. And that's why the title of the show came in at. After the game, they're walking, the players are walking out, Drake's walking by, and Klay Thompson says, "I'll see you in the Bay, Aubrey. You weren't talking all that mess after this game, was you?" And so go back and see that video if you haven't found it. And then KD's talking trash too. I love the trash talk. I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, when he comes to the Bay, you gotta have E40 there. You probably gotta have Too Short there. Probably gonna have Mr. Fab. If you're not familiar with Mr. Fab, he's an artist in Oakland. I actually went to high school with him. He's the king of Oakland right now. But Drake better be on his best behavior. And this was not just strength in numbers is not just a hashtag. They had to live this out this game. You look at Looney going down. You look at Klay going down. One of your best shooters. Steph was not in. I don't know what was going on with him. He might have had the flu. Might have had a stomach virus. I don't know what exactly was wrong with him, but he was clearly not himself. But when he went into that locker room, they must have gave him a shot. And when he came back, he was a completely different person. The medicine that they get in professional sports is not just the regular old stuff that we get. It's a premium grade. Shout out to my pops. Thank you for tuning in. Courtney Harden. Thank you for tuning in. Jay Fish, the microwave in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Chief Rockin' in the building, blazing a great show. And they were yelling MVP to Obama. Drake is such a groupie. I mean, great. He's from Toronto, so I get that he's a fan of this team. But when he starts showing up in Alabama jerseys and when he starts showing up in all these other jerseys, yeah, that does put him definitely in the groupie category because you're not from Alabama. You're not from all these cities, and he has tattoos of KD and Steph, I believe, on his arm that he had to end up covering up. So yeah, at the end of the day, he definitely is a groupie, and that's if that's what he wants to do, if that's the life that he wants to live as a groupie, as a sports groupie, that's basically what it comes down to. Live your life. Hey, I'm not hating on you. Do your thing. So back to the game. Boogie starts. Now, I said this on Friday. Also, Courtney Harden was on the show, and he said this on Friday. I believe and we believe that you have to give Boogie some minutes. You can't give Boogie 8 minutes and expect him to do anything great, I don't think. So you gave Boogie minutes. He started. He played 29 minutes or 28 minutes. Shout out to Cool Sales, says Golden State in 5. Big Mo in the building. But he produced. You gave him time, he produced. He had 11, 10, and 6 assists. He was diming people up like he was throwing it in the fountain at the mall. And he gave you 28 minutes. So Kawhi starts off the game with 7 points. The rest of the team had 9. Clay had the first 9 points. Clay was in rare form. Clay wasn't playing. Clay was Game 6 Clay, where he does anything and everything that needs to be done to win the game. So he scores the first 9 points. Nobody else had anything. Steph clearly was out of it. Just plain and simple. No other way to get around that. In the first half, Clay had 11. At the end of the first half, 26, 27. When you get into before the half, I'm starting to get worried. Boogie got 3 fouls. Lowry, let me say that right. Lowry has 3 fouls. Why does Kyle Lowry keep getting in foul trouble? Can someone, anybody, everybody, why does Kyle Lowry keep getting in foul trouble? I understand that you're trying to be aggressive, but you can't be aggressive every single opportunity. I understand you're trying to get charges. You've done a great job playing defense, but your team needs you. Your team needs you. You cannot foul out in games in the finals. You cannot do that. I don't care what his excuse is. I don't care what it is. You're one of the leaders of this team. You're one of the leaders of this team, and when you foul out, that affects your team as a whole. They were not able to bounce back. The second half, the Warriors went on a 20-0 run. Boogie had 3 fouls. That didn't really affect him later on. Boogie was in rhythm. He had 11. Steph's first field goal, I had to put this stat down. His first field goal was with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second half. In the second quarter, excuse me. Shout out to Laffy T, Melvin in the building, Raider for life. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Boogie can't play 2 back-to-back games. Good. Now, Chief, let me answer this Chief response here. I think that would be on a regular season instance. He's going to have 3 days. 3 days of a break. That's going to be a good rest. And if KD's not playing, who knows what's going to happen. Clay said he's going to play. But if KD does not play, or if he does play, I think Boogie's starting regardless. What Boogie was able to do this past night, he's going to start again. Shout out to Tiffany Sports and Hills. Thank you for tuning in. JB Jennings in the building. Boogie's a good matchup for Gasol. Says my pops. Thank you for tuning in if I didn't say that already. And Gasol did not put up the numbers. You want to look at a difference between game 1 and game 2, Gasol. Gasol didn't give it to you. He didn't give you those threes in game 1. He went 0 for 2 from the 3. He had 6 points. Can't do that. Siakam, I only had 12. The last game he had 34. That is clearly the difference. Siakam didn't get it going. He played 41 minutes. Van Fleet still doing his thing off the bench, though. He had 17. But the Raptors still had an opportunity to win this game. It's not as if Golden State won by 7 or Golden State won by 20. They still had an opportunity. So, as we get further along in the game, Iggy turns his ankle. When that happened, I'm thinking I was just going to affect the rest of the game because it did look bad. The way his ankle went one way and his